the side. I had this idea nearly 10 years ago now to cobble together a troupe of actors, Amdram actors from the local area. So I put out an advert in the paper and sent a few emails out and said, if you want to be in this team, then meet me at St Cuthbert's Hall at this time, and we're going to do a Midsummer Night's Dream open air in Earls Court Square.
Final positions, lots of silence. People are clapping, people are clapping. The people in Wouldn't Be Lovely stay. All the rest of you leave, okay? Ready and go.
I wasn't actually intending on being in it. It's sort of ironic. I just really wanted to put it on, to make it happen. So I wasn't really interested in being the main part or anything. It was just to, let's get this started.
Brooms, please. 6 brooms. Line up in your spots and give the brooms to the side. So let's do our re-entrance brooms, okay? So whoever...
Singing for me was always a passion that I kept secret. So I grew up playing the piano. I started playing the piano because my brother did. I was 4 and taught myself Somewhere Over the Rainbow on the piano and started going from there, which was really cool. But I would sing when nobody was paying attention, so it was kind of my secret until I was like 18. Nobody knew I sang.
Yeah. No, so I'm just trying to keep it simple because Alicia's not here.
Just 2 and 2. All she needs to do is look left and then look right.
Just look at someone. Yeah, just look at each other.
Just quickly.
I am rolling.
They're going to ask me some questions, and I'm going to be, see the camera is on me, and it's going to record the answers to the questions that they're going to ask me. Cool.
I remember walking my pram in Holland Park, learning lines with all the mums, and I think Willow, she must have been a bit older because she just started school, and I remember all these new mums going, "What are you doing?" And I was like learning 4 or 5 Shakespeare lines a day, and I think it took me, I remember sitting in the sandpit learning lines and asking anybody, "Would you mind running lines with me?" while the kids were playing.
So we did a lot of straight plays, which is really what most of us did at school, or the things that we loved to do, like plays that were really interesting to us. And then when we started incorporating kids, and then after that we thought, well, let's try a musical, and The Wizard of Oz is always a good one with children, so we did that, and the rest is history.
How are rehearsals going? Well, this year, because of how we've created the show and because of COVID and the things and we didn't really get a chance to fully do it last year, we let everybody do it this year. So we've got a cast of 60 children and 15 adults. It's massive. And with that comes challenges. So we've just been trying to find ways to give time to everything, and the kids are working really hard. It's going, and I cross my fingers that next week we will be ready to go. Life, it's a hard knock life. It's a hard knock life. So, all right, are we ready? Okay, everybody, let's try it. This year was different because when we were, usually the challenge is finding the musical that we all choose that we want to do, and that's quite a challenge. But for every musical that we had asked the rights for, because of COVID, we couldn't get them. And so we were wondering, how do we make a show if we can't do one that's been written? And we said, well, let's write our own. And so we all, the 4 of us, came together and put down every song that we liked from musicals. It was me, Inga, Toby, and Mariella. And we ended up with a list of like 40 songs. And every song that I put in was modern musical theater from the last 20 years, of course. And then every song that Toby put in was a comedy from the classics, from the 50s and 60s. And so we had to figure out how to stem them together, come up with a storyline. And that's when we thought about COVID being the theme. Obviously, we'd just been through lockdown. Everything was really hard. And we started to see a through line between certain songs that we could actually tell quite a story using these songs and writing just a little intro between each song to kind of give everybody the opportunity to go through lockdown and let it go, kind of. So keep everything together as a group until you're supposed to be focused on. Okay?
With my table.
You can't leave.
Daily exercise.
Well, the chairs are mine.
Well, the chairs are mine if you're cute, okay? So just do
And then otherwise it'll be a lot of Glinda. so that's there for you, and so you can practice that at home.
Okay, yeah.
Put it in your headphones, listen to it all the times you can. Listen to it before you go to bed, then it really gets in your head. Cool, thank you.
That's what you say when you're testing sound. You go 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Testing. 1, 2, 3. Have you never seen that before? No. Is this your song? Oh no.
No, this is, I don't know.
There's a girl called Ella Nelson who's now at St Paul's, which, you know, I'm tremendously, proud. She's gone to the great St Paul's Girls' School, one of the best schools in England. She's been in the shows forever, it seems.
It's like a big thing amongst everyone I know who does it. It's like something we get really excited about all year.
Oh, hello. We needed. Sorry.
That love and fate and a touch of stupidity would rob them of their hope of living happily. The endings are often a little bit gory.
But we had this, wonderful little actor called Ramsey Bazzi who joined us last year, and he was so charismatic and so cheeky and just had that stage presence.
So you say sailor and then you go.
And he played the part of Boris in our show to great acclaim. I've had lots of emails about how wonderful he was after the show, and I very much hope he goes on and does acting, in real life.
More generous and share more. The most important thing is to...
He started with something called Perform, and he could recite whole sort of Beauty and the Beast. He could recite the whole thing at sort of 5. He just would go on, and people would look at him and go, how does this kid? So he had a very good memory for kind of for sort of plays. And
I was Boris Johnson. I was actually really happy to get it because when I was in lockdown, I was already doing Boris impressions, and I think that it's just perfect that I got the part of Boris, because it was just really fun.
I went and looked at the timeline of lockdown. I listened to loads of Boris Johnson's speeches, and Toby actually, while Faye was giving birth, sat and wrote the first draft of the script.
When Faye was in hospital, she was being induced, poor lady, and that gave me the opportunity to write a little bit of script for this play. And so I wrote most of the Boris scenes in this with Ramsey in mind.
I think it's very important that we celebrate these milestones. The vaccine rollout is imminent. Selfie! And we remain committed to our central goals that I hope to achieve in the coming months. Group selfie! Pubs will only open this week! Yay! But only outside.
And I had my way of doing them, and I was sort of almost trying to coach him to say it exactly the way I would. And then, of course, he did it his way and laughed at all of his own jokes. And it was even better than I could have possibly done it, in my voice. And I kept on asking him to slow things down or say things a different way. But, his sort of natural charisma and this sort of laugh that comes out of him naturally as the audience laugh at him is just infectious, of course. I mean, particularly Aviv, springs to mind. She was just an oyster in a walrus and carpenter scene, and a few years later Aviv went on to become Nala in The Lion King on the West End, and we were very privileged to have her back in the show this year. There's some real success stories with these children who have gone on to really great things.
It was interesting because Nico is much shyer and thought for years, oh, this performing thing, that's just Samson. That's not me. I'm not doing that. He would just sort of be in the background. And I think, gradually as things got got more advanced in the musicals and he got more involved, he really realized that he loved it, and he has a beautiful voice, which he's come to, you know, to really embrace now that you know, he's done this for a couple of years, and he's the one that's in the performing arts school now. So, you know, it totally changed what he thought performing was and what, you know, to him, and how much he liked it. So
my first ever role was in Wizard of Oz, and I played a flying monkey.
What?
And a munchkin. Yeah.
Didn't you play a crow before
Oh yeah,
that?
and a crow.
Yeah. That's before that.
No, that was Wizard of Oz.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I played 3 parts: a flying monkey, a crow, and a munchkin.
I had lots of roles. No, but are you talking about the characters or singing? I wasn't a character, but I was doing singing. I got solo spots in When I Grow Up, Matilda.
My first ever role was in Fagin's Gang and A Hungry Child, which was an interesting role. We had a lot of makeup.
Well, when I first auditioned for Wizard of Oz, I almost cried at my audition. So I think I've definitely become a lot more confident since then, and like the plays have definitely helped me become more confident.
Well, I was more in the teen ensemble, but we all sang a song together, part of the world as sisters, from The Little Mermaid, the Disney film. And yeah, we had a whole bed and everything, and jumped on it and played it out like we were 3 sisters, and Evie was at home in lockdown and missed her friends, and we sang the song to cheer her up. That's kind of backstory of it.
We had to do a lot of roles in our first play. We're in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
The vaccination squad is here!
Sounding like drowned cats, get off! Okay, come on, sound like rappers. Yo, 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 yo! Hey, let's go for it!
Yo, 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 yo! The vaccination squad is here!
They've brought us a lot of confidence when it comes to talking to people, a lot of people on the stage, because I used to get stage fright of that. And I'm good at singing now, well, rapping and dancing a bit.
Yo, 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 yo! The vaccination squad is here! Woo! Yeah!
Inga is absolutely crazy taking on this role. She just does an immense amount of work. Everything from writing the scripts to editing, you know, the songs, doing all the rehearsal, scheduling all those, which is no mean feat when you have sometimes, you know, 60 children in different songs and making sure things aren't on at the same time, to doing all the costumes, which is an incredible amount of work. I mean, this year there were several hundred costumes because there were lots of children who were in multiple sort of scenes and songs, etc. So, and then she also makes all of the backdrops as well and the props and things like that. So she takes on a huge amount of work in such a short space of time. And I try and help her when I can, and a few other mums do. But despite that, we do about this much work. She does that much. It's kind of impressive, very, very impressive.
She's become just one of my greatest friends. You know, she is just an extraordinary human being. If it wasn't for her, these things wouldn't happen. But Inga has made magic happen for these children, and made memories for a lifetime. I'm a big sort of believer in the old you can only control the controllable situation, and keep you know, it's a horrible word now, positive, isn't it? You don't want to be positive, but in general terms, you know, that's my you know, forever personality, to just keep being positive, you know. Anyone who says you can't inspires me to do it even more. You know, it will happen even more. So, you know, the COVID has been, you know, I guess the biggest can't of all time. And you think about how many, you know, the entertainment industry has suffered so you know, devastatingly over the last 18 months. And actually over the last 18 months, we've put on, you know, 3 or 4 quite big big time productions actually, which you know, pretty much the whole of London hasn't experienced, and you know, that's probably my greatest thing that I'm most proud of, that despite the odds, you know, we have done, and we have not done. Okay, come on. You're brilliant. I enjoy your performance immensely. Go and nail it today.
Break a leg and just give it lots of energy. And when you're in the tents, remember to be quiet. Why? Because there's audiences that can hear. The microphones are live. Okay? Okay, go to your
We're singing in Cromwell Gardens, I think, yeah.
Break your legs. She's like, guys, break your legs.
Break a leg.
It's the third time doing it with my friends, and I'm really excited to see the audience's faces whilst I sing and perform. Yeah, and rap. And dance.
You'll be okay, 'cause when you don't feel strong enough to stand.
4 weeks you rehearse. You've done it, you just did it.
You're going first. I'm in there.
Oh, it sounds
Fine, yeah. Almost sort of relief. It's you know, been a lot to get here. You know, it's a lot to set up the garden. It's always an enchanting moment to see the children come into the garden, and behold, a theatre has been made for them. But obviously, a lot goes into making that happen, and so I think lots of us are a little bit tired, but we're thrilled to be here. A few more sort of energy levels, and a Lucasade on the way, and we're going to make this show very special tonight.
Top hat.
Around my hat.
It was, I mean, we were so lucky to be able to have the opportunity to, I know so many of my friends, professionals who can't, and their shows have already closed. They opened for a day and they closed. We got to do the show in front of people 5 times, so it was amazing. For me this year, I kept telling the kids and myself, first of all, we're so lucky that we get to do this and to perform in front of an audience, because nobody can. Second, we have an 8-piece band. You have no idea what that's like, and the opportunity of this, to be able to sing with a live band. Like, we're the luckiest people in London, in England, I'm telling you right now. And the kids are like, I don't know what you're talking about. And I was like, you just wait. And when we got there, when the band was playing at Cornwall for that dress rehearsal, they were playing Million Dreams, and we all just kind of cried a little bit and had goosebumps, and the kids were singing, and it was everything that I'd been waiting for, and it was the energy I wanted the kids to feel, and that moment of, oh my gosh, we're doing this, and we have that.
From across the silence, your voice is heard. Someone will come running. To take you up, take you up, take you up, take you up. Even when the darkness strikes you, when you need a friend to carry you, when you're broken on the ground, you will be found. Let the sun come streaming in, would you reach up and you rise again? If you only look around, you will be found. You will be found. Out of the shadows, morning is breaking. All is new, all is new. As I'm filling up the empty, and suddenly I see that all is new, all is new.
And so for me, I mean, Yes, I got to sing one of my favorite songs, two of my favorite songs with a band and my best friend, and like, even for me, it was really, really fortunate, I think, and hopefully the kids walk away realizing that in the end.
It's amazing what baking can do.
Please. Are we going to be good children backstage?
No.
Okay. You can be revolting children on stage, but you have to be good children on stage. Okay.
My favourite song was probably Revolting Children because I really like the dance to it.
Did Bella like that one too?
Yes, Bella liked that one too.
Just because you find that life's not fair, it doesn't mean that you just have to grin and bear it. If you always take it on the chin and wear it, nothing will change. Even if you're little, you can do a lot. You mustn't let a little thing like little stop you. If you sit around and let them get on top of you, might as well be saying you think that it's okay, and that's not right.
We are revolting children living in revolting times. We sing revolting songs, using revolting rhymes. We'll be revolting children till our revolting's done, and we'll have the right for revolting. We're revolting. We will become a screaming horde. Take out your hockey stick and use it as a sword. Against what we need, no one. We'll find out where the source is and draw rude pictures on the board.
Mine was either Master of the House, that was a very fun number, or You Can't Stop the Beat, because it was just very high energy, very fun.
Well, so, are you on the edge of your seats, ladies and gentlemen? This should be a very exciting moment for you. Pubs are open and inside this time! Are you thirsty, ladies and gentlemen? Are you really, really thirsty? Well, the master of the house will give you a drink.
Sit yourself down and meet the best innkeeper in town. As for the rest, all of them crooks, rooking the guests and cooking the books. Seldom do you see honest men like me, gentle of good intent, who's content to be master of the house, doling out the charm, ready with an handshake and an open palm. Tells a saucy tale, makes a little stir. Customers appreciate a bon vivant. Glad to do my friends a favour. Doesn't cost me to be nice, but nothing gets you nothing. Everything has got a little price. Master of the house, keeper of the zoo, ready to relieve them of a sou or two. Water in the wine, making up the weight, picking up their knickknacks when they can't see straight. Everybody loves the landlord, everybody's bosom friend. I'll do whatever pleases Jesus, but I'll bleed him in the end. Come on! Master of the house, quick to catch your eye, never was a passer by the passing by. Servant to the poor, butler to the great, comfort of a loss of a lifelong mate. Everybody's for companion, everybody's chaperone. So look up your believes, it's Jesus, where I skin you to the bone. Get back, Oi.
With your stuff, please. Okay, make sure all your...
You must be so happy. He was brilliant. You were brilliant. The landlord is amazing.
I'm so proud of everybody. We did it. It was touch and go, but everybody just really stepped up. It was awesome tonight. It was really good.
For me, actually, it's not any one thing. It's the whole thing put together. I'm actually super impressed that it's a voluntary effort by a community, right? Parents helping out, some people acting, etc., performing, and so the investment of time that people are willing to do and put such a large show together, and this time it was almost professional in its delivery overall, right? With professional musicians and large stages, external audiences, ticketed events, all those sorts of things. So I think I was very impressed. It's a feel good. We've gone through so much by way of isolation due to pandemic, and it was sort of like the onset of summer with something so beautiful.
So today we got here at 8:30, which is quite early on a Sunday morning, just to basically make sure that all the props were here, all the costumes, get everything organised backstage, because this is our first performance actually here, and it's actually our last performance. And it's been very hot. It's one of the hottest days of the year so far. So no air conditioning, we're really sweltering inside, so it's been a bit sort of stressful. There's kids who are almost fainting, so we have to make sure they keep drinking water and eating, and we've got about an hour now to go before the show. All the hair and makeup's done. It's pretty calm. I'm just really looking forward to it. It's such an amazing experience to be actually on a proper stage with an amazing auditorium, up to 1,000 seats there. I think the kids are going to really enjoy it. They're going to love it.
Today is really hot, but I'm having fun with my friends and getting ready for the show.
But you have them, so you've got the barcode, so it's on your email already.
Yeah, so first of all he started off really shy and quite quiet, and now he's really come out of his shell. He's really enjoyed it, so yeah. It's been a lot of hard work and late evenings, but it's worked out well, so.
Dying. It's very hot in here.
It's very hot.
Also very exciting. Big crowd.
We're in the Wonderground, and we're in this circus tent. It's really hot in the rehearsals, and we haven't really done it on a big stage like this before, so it's really.
My show.
And then the last hour was very tense, because then we actually got the lighting coordinators to help.
Lights on, then there's a quick blackout LQ28. That's when the kids come on for naughty. Yeah. Then LQ22 is the spots. Yeah, these are the spots. So these are the spots, Toby.
And I remember the stage manager coming up to her and saying, "You've got 1 minute and then you have to walk away." And we still had 8 lighting cues to go through.
Is this where the spotlights will be here? The spotlights, this is where the spotlights live? Yeah.
I was so frustrated. I lost my voice in an instant on my walk to Friday's rehearsal with the kids. And I thought that it was an allergy. I'll be fine, it's gonna be fine, it's fine. And in the end, it wasn't, it was laryngitis. And laryngitis doesn't go away in a day. And so I was supposed to sing a concert on Saturday, and I canceled it because I said, I'm just gonna save everything for Sunday. And it wasn't enough. So acupuncture, all the things. I just, after one sleepless night, I knew that I needed to cut my songs. I needed to cut the things that I was doing and give the show over to the kids, because it's not about me anyway. In the end, I was upset and I was frustrated after all that work. However, the silver lining was that I did get one song out and it sounded okay. And the second thing, even better, was that I got to watch the show. So I got to stand backstage and I watched the show. I helped when the bed was destroyed. Our bed broke halfway through one of the numbers with the kids, and I got to help put it back together. All these things that I wouldn't have been able to do if I was singing my song. So sometimes, it's okay. I had my 4 shows and that one I got to watch, so it was all right. Farida put forward a video for her audition, and I believe she sang On My Own. And I had seen a number of auditions with On My Own, and she was just sitting behind this black and white tile, I think, with her curly hair in her face, and very like shy. And she opened her mouth to sing in the self-tape, and I was like, what? Who is this girl? Where does she go to school? What's her story? Like, I have to know everything. She has this pop voice that just made me so excited.
Well, we had to send in like a self-tape, basically, just stating our name and our age and the part we want to audition for. So I did it in my living room, and I yelled at everyone upstairs to be quiet just for like an hour so I could like take a billion takes until I was like pleased with it. And then I just sent it in like by an email, so yeah.
She came to rehearsal the first time, and I asked, have you ever sang before? And she goes, I sing a little choir at school. I was like, that's it? I was like, yeah. I was like, okay, wonderful. So we're gonna start here. And I gave her a lot, and I didn't really think about the fact that she might be shy or never done it before.
When I first met her, we were doing a one-on-one session, which was my first rehearsal at Nevin Place. And she was just like telling me how to perform one of the things. And it was the first time I had ever heard her sing. I was like, whoa, like she was so talented. I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna be working with her. No way. And the second I got home, I like may have stalked her a little bit, and I was like Googled her, and I was like, what? She's so talented.
And on the first rehearsal, quiet. This next one, voice. And then I said, you know what? If you could open your mouth, you have no idea what sound's going to come out of your face right now because it's just there.
Without him, the world around me changes. The trees are bare and everywhere the streets are full of strangers. I love him, but every day I know all my life I've only been pretending. Without me, his world will go on turning. A world that's full of happiness that I have never known. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just that kind of wait beforehand. When you go on stage, it's completely fine. And you start singing, and then you kind of zone out, or zone in, basically. And yeah, it's waiting beforehand. It just kind of gets you nervous. You hear the songs, and you're like, oh, it's 3 songs, and then it's me, and then you go. So then it's all gone.
My least favorite part of going on stage is when the music starts and like you begin to sweat and you begin to tremble and you just feel really nervous. That's happened to me a couple times. And it's way different when you walk on stage. All that nerves go away. You feel really confident when you're on stage, but when you're backstage, it's like really nervous. I don't know. Yeah.
Sad it's over, but I mean I'm very, very excited it went well. All the costumes in the end worked out really, really well. The kids, everybody went on with something, which was great, and I think everybody had a lovely time. And it was lovely to be finally in a theatre, a public theatre, with lights and sound and a band and some wonderful talent.
No one really appreciates how much goes into it behind the scenes, you know, and how long it takes to organise, and you know, all the little bits and pieces that they have to pull together and think about in order to actually make it happen.
And actually, I must say at this point that we've had 3 musketeers, but the D'Artagnan of our 4 musketeers joined us last year in the shape of Joanny, Rouverie, as I like to call him. And you know, he has revolutionised our whole technical system, you know, and made our show so much more professional. And the sound went from being me cobbling it together and ballsing it up mostly, to Joanny making these amateur shows of ours, you know, truly professional.
So who's made all the costumes? I mean, there were so many costume changes. You were a costume maker, weren't you?
I did the costumes and I did like sort of pretty much all the little bits and pieces that needed doing. So, but yes, no, I'm glad it's over. But the kids loved it.
They looked so happy doing it.
They did.
Have you ever met Boris? No. So we'll have to try and arrange you to meet Boris in real life sometime, won't we?
Yes.
You can see how good your wig is and his hair.
Yes.
But you did really well there. Well done. There's a lot of lines to learn.
I think, without a doubt, the thing that was probably the best part of it was it sort of told the story of what we all went through in the last year and a half in a perfect way, and I just think it's exactly what people needed in terms of the music. It was all fairly happy, uplifting stuff, and seeing it come together and the reaction of the audience. I mean, we had people in tears on certain nights, and I think it was just because we had been locked away for so long and we hadn't seen that kind of live music or theater for so long, and it really affected people. That was amazing.
I think for me, I've always been really a theatrical at heart, and I sort of stumbled into this career of a estate agency. My uncle ran the business, and I was printing off scripts in his office, and I started doing some odd jobs for him one day because I lived nearby. And then he was advertising for a role as a sales negotiator in the Times at the time, and the internet wasn't a thing back then, obviously. And anyway, I said, well, I could probably do that for a short period of time while Steven Spielberg is thinking about calling me up to be in a movie of his. And anyway, a long story short, I ended up doing that, and even longer story short, I took over the business with my friend and business partner Jamie 10 years ago, and but it's always obviously been a great part of me, you know, theatre, and I'm lost without it, really. You know, it's to do these shows is that there's something I've become, you know, enormously, you know, proud of. They take up an awful lot of, you know, time and energy and blood, sweat and tears, but you know, I can't really ever see a time of not wanting to do them, and you know, making them bigger and better each year, because they're the highlight of my year. You know, and I, you know, I am very sad when they finish, because you know, it's a year to go before the next one. But yeah, it's they're wonderful. Yeah.